In order for this series to be truly complete, we will have to deal with the issue of religion. Myself, I believe religions have a lot to answer for in regards to pedophilia. We have seen a number of trusted ministers, clergy, and so on participate in abuse. Now, people will simply say it's a Catholic thing, but this is simply not true in the slightest. We have the issues of Judaism, Islam, and probably other religions as well. We cannot forget atheism. So I will go through where these religions have been propagating this perversion. And the reason I believe they are propagating it, or certainly people within those religions are propagating it, is because we can see a gradual push to a sort of legalization. So I'll go through the issues with Judaism and we'll have a look at why or where this is all coming from. So you might want to get a pen and paper ready if you're not downloading this clip. But I'll start off with this. This is from a book by a man called Alan Unterman. So, quoting from him, although the 3-year-old girl does not undergo any ritual introduction to her future role as a Jewish female, she is considered to be sexually a female from this age. Thus, the laws restricting men and women from being alone together in the privacy of a locked room or house you could apply to a girl of 3. They only apply to a boy from the age of 9. The rationale being that from these ages the female and the male are sufficiently sexually mature to be the objects of sexual desire. In the language of the halakha, they are fit for sexual intercourse. And that's from page 128, chapter The Ritual Lifetime, Childhood and Youth, and the book is called The Jews, Their Religious Beliefs and Practices, 1999 edition by Alan Unterman. I'll just put it up. But this isn't just an issue of some guy who wrote a book. We have to look at the Babylonian Talmud and the things it has in that book, which is for some unknown reason taken to be divine by non-Jews in regards to Judaism, when all it really is just the opinion of rabbis, but yet these things are adhered to. Of course, remember, Judaism has had no prophets since the time of Jesus Christ. So we are dealing with opinions of rabbis which are held to be true by, I don't know, people who just go with the flow. And I'll just quote, a couple of passages, and this explains a lot. There's a passage from the Talmud, it's called Ketubov 11b, and it's from a website I've seen this called halakha.com. I'll put it up afterwards so you can write it down and take a look for yourself. So, from the Babylonian Talmud, here we go. When a grown-up man has intercourse with a little girl, it is nothing. For when the girl is less than 3 years old, it is as if one puts the finger into the eye. Tears come to the eye again and again. So does virginity come back to the little girl under 3 years. So that's, says it all, I suppose, but not quite. We have to deal with the boys now. Okay, this is from Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin 54b. Pederasty, or sex with a boy, with a child below 9 years of age, is not deemed as pederasty with a child above that. Samuel said, pederasty with a child below 3 years is not treated as with a child above that. Rab makes 9 years the minimum, but if one committed sodomy with a child of a lesser age, no guilt is incurred. Samuel makes 3 the minimum. So, just from that alone, you can have sex with a boy, provided he's below 9 years of age, and sex with a girl up to the age of 3. Although, you have to remember, the Babylonian Talmud was not something that God gave to the rabbis. This is just rabbis' opinions, men's opinions. So, looking at it, any child up to the age of 9 is fair game. But what I find interesting about this is that you got these, left wing, and most likely atheist pedophiles, who go along some sort of philosophical spin and say that, a 9-year-old boy cannot get an adult female pregnant. And yes, that's true. So therefore it is not sex. It is not a sexual act, because a sexual act implies that one can conceive. Same as if you fuck a 3-year-old girl, she's not going to get pregnant. So it's not a sexual reproductive act. So it doesn't matter. You can't do any wrong from it. And look, I'm just going through all the things that the Babylonian Talmud actually says is okay in regards to children. So I'm going to put these up now, and I'll put the website up where you can look at this. But any website which has the Babylonian Talmud in its, I suppose you say, its originality, because you don't know if people are just going to spin doctor all this stuff, but it is true. And you may be asking, well, how can a religion condone such things? But that's the thing. You got like these Christian Zionists saying, oh, the Jews are chosen by God, they can do what they want. This is one thing I'd like to point out. It seems like a magician does his trick. He goes abracadabra and everything changes. Yet if a Jew simply says anti-Semite, then people just, for some reason, crawl into a fetal position and start sucking their thumbs. And this is why this crap has been allowed, and this is why, I suppose it's a case of bastards helping bastards. You've got pedophiles in all religions, and they've made their way into what you call the clergy, and they're supplementing each other through this stuff. So I'm just gonna put up the website and the parts of the Babylonian Talmud which says it's alright to have sex with kids. So let me put this to you. If I went around sucking on a baby's dick or sucking baby's dicks, that would make me a pedophile, correct? And if I had an assistant taking photos or making a video, that would make him a child pornographer, correct? So, why is it that if I have the title rabbi before my name, and this has been done in a synagogue that is perfectly legal? And so you got to ask, why is it two separate legal situations regarding the same act? And what's worse is that, if a rabbi circumcises a baby, he sucks on the baby's dick in order to draw out blood. But as we've seen, and I believe this to be very true, that Jews punch above their weight in the case of herpes. I think that per capita Jews have more people infected with herpes than any other racial group or racial or religious group in the world. And babies are picking this up. But, looking at if people are following the Talmud, so we don't know what sexual acts may be occurring behind closed doors. But, there have been cases of rabbis with herpes infecting babies. Now, wouldn't that be enough to tell you that this is not a good thing to do? You've with the circumcisions, you've got cases where, although I have to admit, I've only heard of it on a couple occasions or so, where the rabbis have cut babies' dicks off because they're so incompetent in what they do, and when they've passed on herpes to babies, because through the saliva, sucking on a baby's cut dick and passing it on through the bloodstream, because the rabbi sucks the baby's dick till blood comes out. So there's the blood flow for the baby to be infected through the rabbi's saliva. And, but this is the thing. If I went around cutting babies' dicks and sucking on them, I'd be put in jail, and justifiably so. Yet, if I have the title rabbi, it's perfectly okay. I mean, shit, this is fucked up. And we have to, have an overview of all, especially the Abrahamic faiths. I mean, with what Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and other prophets taught to what it is now, I mean, there is something fundamentally wrong. Especially in regards to Judaism. I mean, having sex with kids, it's in the talmud, it's okay. Cutting babies' dicks, it's okay. Giving them herpes and who knows what else. That's okay. We're chosen by God. We can't do any wrong. And this is from a religion where, certainly in the Western world, which probably has about, at least a 50% atheism rate. You can be an atheist and go to the synagogue and participate in services, and you can be a known atheist. And that's okay. You can say, no, I don't believe in God. I don't believe it's a lot of crap. So, yeah, I renounce God. And in a synagogue, that's okay. But if you renounce Judaism, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. That's what gets you kicked out. So we're not dealing with a faith. It is a tribal thing. That's the only way I can put it down to. It's not a religion, because you got at least half of Jews who are atheists. You've got the ones who do believe in a concept of God, who believe in some sort of pantheism. Probably 5% of Jews are actually followers of what Moses taught. And really, what can you say about a so-called religion that has this sort of thing? And this is a perfect, root, an open sore for which the likes of pedophiles and other perverts can come in and peddle their crap. But it's not just a Judaistic thing. I'll take that back. I believe there's a difference between believing in a Judaist faith and being Jewish. Separate things, because you ask what defines a Jew? Is a race? No, different racial groups. Is a culture? Well, anyone can adopt a culture. Is it religion? Well, you don't have to believe in God to be called a Jew. So it is a tribal thing. I'll be quite honest. I would compare what Jewishness passes for now is something along the lines of mafia families. It is bloodline. But mafia families are criminals. So why are we treating Jewishness any different? And why are people worshipping Jews? This Kellyism, as you find with Christian Zionists. They bless Jews before praising Jesus. Jesus is just a bystander. But when you look at these things that are occurring, you've got to ask, who is behind this? How did this all come about? So I suppose, probably a couple of you be saying, oh, you're a bloody anti-Semite, put you in jail. But I believe what we're seeing is, I don't know, an enforcement of Sabbateanism upon the, I suppose you say, the world of the Abrahamic faiths. And once that's taken over, it'll spread to on a worldwide basis. But so I'll just end it here because we've still got Christianity and Islam to deal with. And people will be offended, but I don't care. When you look at perverts using religions to justify having sex with 3-year-old girls and shit like that with babies, and I mean, look, I'll just end it here, but I'm going to continue with this because this has to be exposed and it has to be dealt with, whether people find it inconvenient or not. So